Good morning. Oh, I'm frozen. Okay, here we go.
Divine right timing. Well, I'll say chi timing. Chi timing. Here we go. All right. So some of you are here, which is awesome. Some of you aren't here, but that's okay too. So glad you're here. So first and foremost, I just wanted to create a container for why this is actually happening, this kind of group session. As many of you have known, that I've been working with patients one-on-one for a long time. And I found that when you actually have a group component, even if you don't ask questions and you just listen, or if you do want to participate, there's so much more that happens inside. It's very inspiring and motivating to see other people working on themselves, changing some habits, figuring things out. And it's just really profound. So hopefully you all that are here will get the benefits as well. So the first and foremost thing I wanted to do is just make sure that the people that want to come here. So I did send out that survey. And it looks like Fridays are not the best, unfortunately, for everybody. So I apologize for that, but I didn't want to wait any longer. I just received labs, all the labs. So Anna, you'll be getting your report. And Mary, I'm still waiting on yours. Right. So that's okay. Most of you have gotten your labs done and we're moving forward to the next phase, but there's no rush. We'll do it as it comes. So I'm going to leave, there's going to be time for questions. Just want to make sure that if you guys have any questions about anything, I can answer those. And sometimes it's super helpful for other people to hear your question, and people can learn from that. So I'm going to share my screen because the most important thing is I want to make sure that you are all able to access where I'm putting all the documents for this program. So from my website, you will go to Thinkific, and I think most of you are already in Thinkific. And so I sent you a photo of this, so you just make sure that you are accessing this, and you just type in, so you don't pay because you've already paid, start with yourself, and all that was in an email. Okay, so basically the way this works is let's see, so there's going to be text and there's videos. Okay, in this, we don't have to go through all this stuff today, but I want to make sure that you have access to it, access to the PDFs that I'm giving you. Some of you, I've already given some of the PDFs in your email as far as the assessments, because I wanted to get you started on that. But what I want to let you know is, here we go, foundation self-assessments. So one of the most important things is these assessments, and most of you have done the top 3, but I want to make note that if you have not done the Wheel of Life and the personal intent assessments, that this would be a great time to do that. So if you scroll down here, you'll see all the places you can download, and these are assessments. So all you have to do is click on download. It's going to open it up. And you're going to, and I'm sure many of you have probably done these self-assessments before, but remember, I want you to. Anne, will you mute yourself? I want you to assess right now, not, like everybody has a different season they're in. So I want you to make sure that you're revisiting this kind of concept now. And there's a couple columns, and I really gave you a couple different ones. Let's see, I'm going to show you the other one. So that could be, or if you're more visual, if you want something like this, and many of you have probably done this before, so I gave you a blank one, and then
Siri, all done, Willard.
Anne, will you mute yourself, Anne?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so then I'm giving you very specific instructions on these wheels. Okay, And then the other thing I want to just point out is the personal intent. And I would love for each of you to have a personal intent statement for the next 3 months. And I'll scroll down to, where is it? I think I give you a little bit of instruction here. Maybe I found it, but it's basically a statement that says, what is your personal intent? What is your vision, your mission, your goals for now? And you can tease some of that information out of the life wheel. Okay. Why are we doing this? Well, most importantly, to make sure that we're not living haphazardly. Okay. I want to make sure that we are fully participating in designing and deciding what our life is unfolding and looking at. Right now, your life, how you feel, your body, your blood tests are a result of your previous habits, consciousness, beliefs. Okay. So that's super important. Now, as far as I want to actually skip to values. So this is a value exercise right here. I really would like you to go through. And the reason I want you to go through this, and I gave you a list of hundreds of values, is because if your value, let's see, I think I gave you an example. Close your eyes because I'm scrolling. Why do values matter? Here we go. So if your value is health, that is completely different than adventure or learning, if you want to focus on learning. So I want to make sure that you're prioritizing your values just for the next month or 3 months. Okay. I like to do my life in 3-month increments. You know, travel's not on here, but like, for instance, travel is very different than building wealth. Okay. So the main idea with all of these assessments is to make sure that each of us are understanding what our priorities are for our intent, but what to put your attention on. Okay. So if I'm wanting to buy a house, that's going to be very different than spending my money traveling. So it's just informing me, informing you on where do you put your energy and your resources. Okay. Just for now, to move the needle in the area of your life, or maybe a couple areas that you want to focus on and shift. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the overview of the content of this program. I haven't recorded videos yet. I kind of wanted to see, have this session be first. But in your report of findings, for those that have already gotten it, I'd given you specific self-care practices, specific foods, possible supplements or herbal medicine, based on, what I think is best, and obviously the plan. But I want to share with you, where is it? Let's see. Sorry, let me just tell you one thing. Wasn't values, wasn't mindset. Habits, food is medicine, herbs. No, here we go. Maybe it was in the front. Sorry about that. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So here it is. Okay. So this is important, and this is why I want to take time to look at this, because if you've looked at this section before, this is answers to your questions. My goal is to not overwhelm you with information. I think that would be having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at breakfast. Okay. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most important information for you in the season you're in. So I'm going to be putting in information here in the videos that you may want to skip. Okay. So that's important to understand. When you do the life wheel, okay, here we go in this, everybody's life wheel is going to be a little different. Okay. You might want to focus on contribution. You might want to, everybody's focusing on health, but you might want to focus on your personal relationship. So when we look at all of these relationships, you might want to be focusing on one particular area. So it's not going to be that you're working on everything. Very similar with this. Okay. Maybe some of you are going to be working on your sleep hygiene. Maybe some of you are going to be really working on your food. Okay. So again, this is going to inform us, your blood and your assessments on where you're going to be putting your energy. Okay. This is what you and I will be working with on our weekly one-to-ones. And if you need help discerning this, we can absolutely do that. Okay, so this, I don't want, when I wrote this, in my mindset, I've taken these categories from my past patients on where they focused on. So we're not going to be focusing on everything, but I do want to point your eyes to this. So overall, I am looking at all of your body systems, okay? I'm looking at this through blood, and I'm also looking this through your lengthy questionnaires that each of you filled out. And so this is stuff that we are upgrading based on order of priority, okay? The last thing I was going to say is I can teach you how to do things at home. Some of you have technology, you're wearing Fitbits or Apple Watches. If I've talked to some of you about wearing a continuous glucose monitor if we're needing that, how to track different temperatures in the body based on menstrual cycles and whatnot. So if any of you are wanting specific stuff on me to teach you, I have videos that I'll be rolling out so you can learn, and we can also go over this during your session. Okay. So again, if you don't want to know, and some of you might be already doing your blood pressure, you want to know your breathing rate, heart rate, and there's some other vital signs. We can test with urine and stool. I want to make sure that I'm only giving the information that's going to be useful. If this is extra and you don't need to know this, then skip these videos. So last thing I was going to say is, if you want to step back and think about what are we actually doing here? Who am I? You have chemistry, you have your structure, the physical, and then you have your mind and spirit emotional. Okay. So the easiest thing from your labs is we take a look at nutrition. We take a look at movement and rest, activity and rest. And then how do we nourish the physical? Through nutrients, through food and supplements and herbs. Then how are we dealing with chemistry? Okay. Now I did put foundational diet and chemistry because that's important, but it is affecting the physical. Okay. Non-toxic environment. You'll hear me talk about how important environment informs you. Most of you have recommended a detox or possible fasting or intermittent fasting. We've talked about the foundational diet based on your blood. And yeah, through Qigong, I'm inviting you all to my next Qigong class that's in person and on Zoom. We'll be going through some breathing exercises. Some of you have given very specific breath work if I think that's important. I briefly touched upon water. That's a subject that, again, there's going to be a video on it. So these are separate videos that I'm rolling out. If you are interested in learning about different breathing techniques, if you're interested in understanding when do I drink distilled versus adding an extra hydrogen or pH alkaline water, okay? Because again, there's so many different kinds of water, okay? So again, I can't stress enough, if you have no interest right now, you can access this information later. The most important thing is taking a look at that report, you and I fine-tuning that plan, and then me supporting you every week on changing and fine-tuning the food, the movement, the lifestyle habits, the self-care, okay? And then ultimately we live our life from the emotional, okay? So this is the letters, this is the being present, this is the playtime, this is, finding joy, cultivating presence in your relationships, ultimately contributing, okay, giving back. So if we don't do this, then one is going to be out of balance. Okay, so I want us, this is just another way to take a look at, hey, what are we doing here? Why do I feel off? And how can I move forward? And if we're missing any of these things, it is a spoke in the wheel. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So the way that this is going to run, just as a perspective, is, most of you have your plan. Mary and Anna and the other ones that are not on this call will be getting your plans hopefully in the next couple of days as soon as I get those labs. Each week you're supposed to be scheduling me, to make sure that I'm understanding what you're doing. I'm coaching you. We're figuring out what you need if you're doing herbs or supplements, food, fasting, all the things. And then this is a time where you can from a group standpoint, if people are wanting the community aspect, this is what this is for you to hear each other, listen to people's questions. It's a little bit different than the 30 minutes plus that we have each week, which is really dialing into you. And then this program that's kind of in a course format is just an easier way for me to, not spend too much time with everybody saying, okay, I want to talk about salt, or I want to talk about water. And I'm really trying to make sure that I'm giving you the exact information that is time tested. Doesn't matter if you're a Western doctor, a naturopath, a chiropractor. It's not like philosophy or value-based. We're talking about addressing the human body, which hasn't changed. Okay, that's important to note. Okay. And can you hear us? Oh, you can. Okay, sorry, I just saw that. I was sharing my screen and I couldn't hear. So the most important thing is, I think, because it's the ones that aren't here have more flexibility. Maybe I'm thinking just for time's sake, we could just finalize a time that works for everybody right now that's on this call. So I would suggest I'm just going to start with a Wednesday. So can you just nod if Wednesday would work for you? Yes, Wednesdays? Okay. You can unmute yourself as well. For me, I teach outdoor fitness in the morning. So the earliest I would be able to get anywhere, and it's a little bit of a time crunch, but I could do it would be 11 a.m. and I'm in California. So I can do 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if anyone on this call has very specific time constraints on a Wednesday, I would like you to speak first on suggesting a time for us to meet. Anna,
Is not okay with me.
what'd you say?
5 o'clock is not okay with me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anna,
I was gonna say the earlier the better on Wednesday, like 1 o'clock
okay.
is a good time for me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say I typically take Lee's class on Wednesdays. I think it's from 1 to 2:30 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So either before or after probably before would be best.
I also take Lee's class on
Can you
Wednesday.
do noon, Anna?
Yeah, noon would work.
Okay, 12, we could do 12 to 1. We just, we don't want to have to do it too long. Barbara, noon would work.
Yes,
Okay, Anne, would Wednesday at noon work?
Yeah, that's perfect.
And that would be, is that 2 o'clock your time, Mary? Are you-
Let's see. So it'd be noon, so it would be 1.
Okay, would that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think let's do it. We're gonna start with Wednesdays at noon. Great, and if you cannot come for some reason, these are recorded and they will go right into that Thinkific portal. Now, for logistics, does anybody have any questions on how to access the portal? Everybody knows how to get in and. Go ahead, Anna, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in and it's not showing that I've signed up for the class.
Yeah, so you sign up and you just type in the code, start with yourself. It's all one word, so you don't have to pay, and it'll put you right in as a coupon. Yeah,
And I'm doing that in my dashboard and the courses.
yeah, yeah. So you just go to the Start With Yourself course that I took a picture of.
hmm
Are you there?
Let me get
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you need help on that. So I just want to make sure everybody's in there. Okay. Okay, so first and foremost, we're already 24 minutes in, but so just know when we have our weekly meetings, just schedule those anytime. Okay. And I think that some of you that have already been in these meetings, that if we go longer, we go longer. If we need to do an extra one, you can always call, text, or email me, of course. But the main thing, especially in the beginning, is to make sure that you're understanding everything. So let's open it up. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any shares? that they want to, I just want to open it up.
I just have one technical question is
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time like browsing through my emails to find the link to sign up for the weekly meetings.
Oh, okay.
So I was wondering if it is a place in the portal in the course you could put that so I don't
I
have
will. That's great.
to go
I'll
search.
do that.
Thanks.
Not a problem. That's easy.
I'm actually scheduling from the computer, so I don't know. How to do that.
You're what?
I'm having a hard time scheduling from in the computer. Our once a week.
Oh, okay. I mean, so can you see the chat here?
I see the chat, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put in, just so you have it there, and just click on it. But I'll also put it in the portal, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you should just be able to click on that and you can schedule.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, Mary, I'm not sure why, I guess things are just taking a little bit longer, but that's okay. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll, every day I'm notified by text as soon as I get labs, so. Yeah.
I should be too.
Okay, great. And Anna, are you able to, looks like, yours is coming in on Monday, so once you read that report, if you want, I would like you to already schedule next week, knowing that you're gonna get the report on Monday. So we can go over it next week.
Okay, and where am I scheduling?
So I just put the link in the chat, but I'll also put it in the Thinkific course.
I will look at the chat, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, and it also was sent to you, but I can also, so just for scheduling sake, I'll send out an email saying our next meeting is Wednesday at noon. It's going to be the same link, but I'll make sure that I send you that link every week, or Tira, my assistant, can do that. And then also this link to schedule with me, just to make it easier. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay.
I had a question on the liver cleanse.
Mhm.
How does one pick between 10 days or 20 days?
So it depends on your feeding schedule. So basically, when you take the liver products, you have to be on an empty stomach. And it takes the liver 30 minutes to kind of like visually like wring out the toxins. Because remember, the liver is the organ that's going to filter out all the toxins. But what happens is when we ask too much of the liver, which is stress, menstrual blood, alcohol, THC, pharmaceuticals, environmental toxins, herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, there's just residue. The liver doesn't fully get cleaned out. So when you take the solidago, gentian, dandelion, myrrh, or whatnot, it takes 30 minutes for all of the mold and heavy metals and toxins, plastics to get to the gut. Okay. So then you take the binders, all those different kinds of binders, because you need a binder for each, toxin to then safely remove out of the gut. And this is the most important thing just for all of us to remember, is that a lot of people have gut issues because they take dandelion tea or milk thistle or bitters, or, they support the liver, but then they never do anything to remove them safely out of the gut. Okay, so this is why I'm choosing this particular protocol, because it's 3 different phases. Most supplements and cleanses are 2 phases, so it doesn't fully safely remove. So then it takes 30 minutes once you have the binders, taking the packet, for it to be eliminated. It doesn't matter when you sweat or urine or stool, but then you can eat. So it's an hour, right? So you have to decide on, are you someone that can wait an hour after you get up? And if not, then after you finish breakfast, you wait 2 hours and then you do the protocol. So it's either before and, it takes about an hour again. And some people like to do it at night. So for you, Barbara, I would suggest, if you do it twice a day, like a lot of people do, it's a 10-day protocol. If you're not in a rush and you're like, my schedule, then you do it once a day and it will last 20 days. Yeah. And my goal ideally is that you're all doing it by the summer solstice, because we're in the spring season. And if you want to be really strict with the energy of the spring, you're doing it before like May 15th. Okay, should give you plenty of time. I'm getting a shipment in on Wednesday. Yeah, yeah.
I also came across a quote from Socrates today that I thought would apply to the group. He says, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building new.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it really connected with that one.
I like that. I like that. Thank you, Barbara. Anyone else have any questions or any share?
I'd like to know where everyone is. I'll start. I'm in Aptos right now, but I actually live in Watsonville, California.
I know, I was wondering if you were still in Napa or Santa Rosa.
Yeah, I just came back yesterday.
I'm in the mountains above Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, wow. Oh, I should read. I'm in Southeast San Francisco.
I'm in Santa Cruz, California.
We talked at the same time.
Oh,
Where are you from?
Capitola.
Oh, Capitola, yeah. And Ann?
Ben Lomond, California.
Ben Lomond, okay. Amber, where are you from?
oh, Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, okay. Santa Cruz in the house. That's a good question. I like to know where people are from too. That's great. So how's everyone doing? Has anyone started to make any changes? Is anything feeling hard? Is there anything giving you energy? Any questions for me about anything at all? We'll get in the hang of this. The last group I ran, it took everybody a little while, but then once we started going, it was like, where does the time go? So, well, yeah, once we'll get going a little bit, but yeah, feel free to ask questions or share anything. I love that. Barbara just shared a poem or quote from Socrates, so.
I find this overwhelming actually, and I really can't figure out what to focus on first. That's the hard part.
Okay, so this is what we need to talk about in your one-on-one.
Okay.
Yep. So you have one scheduled already?
No, not for next week.
Okay, well, maybe you want to schedule on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, don't wait.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the most important thing. The plan is not meant to be implemented all in a week or a month. It's not, because remember, most primary care doctors run your blood once a year. People like me, we run it probably every 6 months because you're making the changes. So then you focus on something different once you change the blood, okay? And the cholesterol and whatnot. So it's really important to enroll me into that, making sure that you're meeting with me so we can actually dial in these 3 things or maybe 5 things that you're focusing on. Most of us can't focus on more than 3 to 5 things. Okay, so really understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Barbara. Yeah. So Monday is the solstice and Tuesday, I believe, is the full moon. Okay, so it looks like it's going to rain where I am. I was actually going to teach Qigong on Monday. Oh no, Tuesday's the new moon, sorry. And so I wanted to let you all know that when I teach Qigong during the time that I'm with you, I know a couple of you are already doing Qigong. I teach a little differently. Of course, every teacher does teach differently, but it's part of this embodiment practice. Okay, so I have a feeling I'm going to be rained out on Monday, but I will let you know of the next one. And if you guys want to hop in on the Zoom, or if you're wanting to come down to the beach, you're absolutely welcome to do that. Okay. And then for the new moon, just as a reminder, the new moon is always about planting new intentions, new seeds for the month. And I would encourage all of us just to be focusing on a month at a time. Okay, that's why some of those exercises, those written exercises in that course is going to be important, you know, and most of us are obviously focusing on our health right now. And so most likely that's going to be that, but I really would encourage you to be really thinking of this 30-day container. So to maximize the resources, which is what? Your time, energy, and money. Okay. So I facilitate in the Tea Club is we sit down with paper and pen, and we write our intentions every month. So if you're willing to do that, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, again, it's making sure that you are choosing and deciding what is worthy of your energy now. Okay. Yeah.
So since I'm traveling next week, and so I haven't started on the supplements because just shipping issues
Yeah.
will arrive once I'm away, and I want to have that happen. So
Yes.
and thanks for the extra PDF. So what I've been doing is focusing on food
Okay.
and just going through like the different PDFs and see what's common. What are some common foods in the different ones you gave me, and just
Yeah.
focus on those. So um I went shopping yesterday, get some wheat germ and some psyllium, and interestingly couldn't find any aduki beans at local grocery. So but yeah, so
Oh.
that's been helpful.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, and you know, one of the most simple ways to create neural synapses, neuroplasticity, right? Changing the white and gray matter in our brain is to try new things. Okay. And so by trying new foods, your pancreas and your spleen and your gallbladder, you know, all the different parts of the digestion tract is going to say, oh my God, I've never had this, or I haven't had it in a long time. So now I have to secrete a different enzyme, right? So by trying something new and introducing it to your field, it connects to a different part of the earth, you know, where those beans were grown, et cetera. So there's so much that's happening when you try something new, not just changing your blood, not just to prevent or treat a disease. Okay, then it spurs us to maybe look up a recipe, you know, try something new. I had my first relationship with an Instapot this week. Never had an Instapot. So anyway, so Chris, that's great. That's great. But I just want all of us to realize that you're being really specific, obviously, with food as medicine. Okay, literally food is medicine. So we want 80% of our diet right now to just be hopefully from those lists. But then I want you to recognize that we are one big unit. So everything that you're doing affects everything else for the positive. And that's huge. And we're here to check in and tune in, not tune out and check out. And when you tune in with your attention, so much can change very quickly. Yeah, good job.
I have another question. What are your thoughts on like having a cheat day?
Yeah, cheat days are great. You just want to put it in perspective. Okay. So the flip side of that is most of us know how many, you know, we don't count calories here, but most of us know how many calories we need for our, you know, body weight, height, etc. And from the flip side of that is, if you study blue zones or centurions, longevity, they say either doing 1 500 calorie day a week or 2 500 calories back to back once a month, just to like eat less for longevity. Now, the flip side of that, it doesn't matter if you're doing keto or, you know, anything like that. The cheat, there's a continuum of the cheat. Like how much do you go off and in what realm? Sugar versus carbs, So there's ways to do that. If it's sugar, I mean, carbs turn into sugar. There's some little hacks, Chris, like there's gymnema leaf. There is some mushrooms, there's specific mushrooms. And so you can always on Full Script, look for a blood sugar balancing supplement. And what I would suggest is, they're very inexpensive, whether you do the gymnema leaf, I don't know, it might be $12, $15, I'm not sure, but you have them on hand. So then if you're deciding to do a cheat, you're taking a couple of those capsules of the herb and it helps regulate your blood sugar. So you're not going crazy when you're having that ice cream or that pizza, you don't feel guilty. So this is about really being present and taking responsibility for what you're doing. First of all, we know from science that if you just enjoy the present moment, enjoy the pizza, your body is going to respond better than if you're just making yourself wrong and having worry or, fear or whatever it is while you're eating that thing. Okay. I mean, the science is out. So just first of all, be present, enjoy, chew. Don't just open up the chute and put it down. You can obviously add that supplement in to help burn, to make sure the sugar's not staying in your blood, cleansing the blood. And so then if you're doing these things, you can feel so much better about whatever you're calling a cheat. You're lessening the body. Okay. And I know for me, I mean, I'm going to go see the movie that won all the Academy Awards, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have popcorn. So my strategy is, okay, I'm going to get some carbs. Do I want a drink that has sugar in it? Doesn't matter if it's like a ginger ale or a beer, like you strategize. Okay. Am I going to be doing chocolate? So it's like, oh, do I need a supplement? So, and then every one of us is different on this call. Okay. Some of us might be drawn to alcohol or carbs or THC or sweets or whatever. It doesn't matter. But what you're realizing is you're staying connected to this body and doing what you need to do to enjoy yourself and be in the present moment and enjoy food. But once you're in a relationship with food and you're present, you eat less because you're actually finding nourishment in it, in the experience.
Yeah, I was wondering, thank you for that information. I was wondering if you could put in the thinkific, what's it called?
Yeah, think of it. Yeah.
If you can put like just like a little sheet with, okay, let's say, I do want to go out with friends and we're gonna eat French and have butter and wine, heavy food.
Yeah.
What can I take to counterbalance that? Or I'm going to I don't know, birthday party and there's going to be cake. What can I take to counterbalance that? So if there would be some kind of summary somewhere, that would just be awesome.
Yeah, no, I totally can do that. One of the earliest hacks I learned by accident is when I got into learning about cannabinoids 6 years ago. And I started taking CBD, but I was selling it to my patients. And these women that were in my practice at the time, I mean, I think this was like, 6 or 7 years ago, they would come in and say they're not hungover after drinking a bottle of wine. And I'm like, oh no. And so I ended up realizing that if you look at full spectrum CBD, it upregulates the liver and the antioxidant, the glutathione pathway so much that the liver can really filter out the alcohol really efficiently. Very similar to Chinese herbs. There's a Chinese herb formula called Longdong Sheguntang. And if you take this Chinese herb before you go drinking, no hangover. Because alcohol and THC is pure liver fire. And if you can understand that and understand, a Chinese herb or CBD, you take it. So part of, if you're doing the detox, the CBD comes with it, then you take a couple pumps and you're like, I'm good. So again, it's understanding what the habits or what lifestyle of food or alcohol or whatever is doing to your system, bringing in heat or forcing the liver to overwork. What can I do as far as herbal medicine, plant medicine to counterbalance that? So it's a little bit of a strategy and life hack. Okay. So I'll definitely share with you what to do with sugar, carbs, alcohol, and cannabis. If you're doing THC, so those are the main ones people do. I'll put that in the course, Chris. Yeah.
And also maybe, every once in a while, some high fat
Oh,
butter.
high fat. Yeah, the gallbladder. Yeah, yeah. Gallbladders can be taxed. In Chinese medicine, the gallbladder and liver are best friends, and so we tend to, with the fat, grease. Like, so after you drink alcohol, you tend to want a burger, right? So there's a reason why we tend to be drawn to certain things after we do and overdo another thing. Yeah, there's a lot to support the gallbladder in producing the right amount of bile to cut the fat. One of the free cheap hacks is doing tea. So pu'er tea will cut and support the gallbladder. I think I give this example a lot around the Chinese, and this is before, when I worked in the hospitals there, it was 2005, they were getting McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut. So Chinese people have gotten a little bit bigger, but before that, they mainly cooked wok food. And if you and I ate wok food, we would see it, but they would do the pu'er tea. So they wouldn't gain weight and fat mass from the grease, from the wok, from the fried food. Okay. So pu'er is a really good place to start. I know Lee and I are pu'er snobs. Not all pu'er tea is created equal. I think I gave people a list of pu'er companies you can order off the internet that are amazing. If you want that list, I'm happy to put that in this document for you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Of course. Yeah. There's tons of hacks out there from the Chinese, plant medicines to course correct and heal. And the one thing I'll say is that, remember, we're not having to do all of this stuff forever. Once you get into balance, your blood is pretty good. Okay. Then, like I said, and this is what's great about you bringing this up, Chris, is that then you can have these tools in place. Okay. It's raining, or I can't go outside, or I twisted my ankle. I can't really move my body, but I need to move my body. Okay. That's when you can bring in shaking, knocking, or do jiao yao xiao yao san, right? A Chinese herb that's going to move your qi for you, right? So again, it's understanding how can I have tools in my toolbox to understand how to move my energy. Where is the energy? Is it my body? Too much energy in my body? Is too much energy in my head? And then that's where the self-care, the practice comes in. Okay. Yeah. We'll be working on how to get that toolbox going. Good questions. Hopefully these are helpful for other people. So I'm just to stress my point is that when you listen to someone else's question, it's helpful for everybody. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or comments or shares? Well, if not, I just want to say that I am really grateful for the ones that showed up today, always. So if you can come to these Wednesdays at noon, I would encourage you, especially to create some group synergy. And yeah, it's great. It helps me be creative with you. If you, like I said, with Barbara, if you're having a hard time, like schedule those appointments, make sure that you're keeping me in the know. I'm here to help you figure out the best thing. I'm very creative, I'm very resourceful, but I definitely don't have the answers for everything. So I will do my best and stay in touch with me. Anna, thank you for that message, that email you sent me. I have an email going out to you today. And yeah, just let me know if I can support you. And I'm super grateful that you've decided to value upgrading your health and working with me. It's a real pleasure. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. LeTa.
Thank you. All right. Well, I guess bye for now. And I will see each of you on your one-to-one call, and we'll see you as a group in a few days on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah.
Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.